I get those goosebumps every time. I need the Heimlich, throw that to the side. I get those goosebumps every time, yeah. When you
Greetings technicians, this is Admin Crow here, your coach of the Toronto Star Raptors, bringing you the Teambuilder for another week of the PCL Season 3, the Pokemon Champions League. This is week 3 and we are going to be taking on Hussam-Sama, the coach of the Damascus Cofagrigus. So me and Hussam-Sama have never faced off in a league battle before, but we did play once. I believe it was for the gym leader tryouts. And Hussam-Sama is a tremendous battler because he actually went undefeated in Season 2's regular season, and I believe he was one of the coaches who attended the championship as well. I believe it was in Generations last season. And so yeah, in this team builder, I'm just going to jump into the sets and going over what I'm going to be bringing and my game plan going in. So over here, first up we have Orochi, the superior, coming to making his first debut in the Raptors. I did debated on bringing Superior last week when I played against Gem and the Northern Yankees, but he didn't. Superior did not make it to the final version of the team. So this week is coming for the first time, packing the Assault Vest with ability contrary, with the obvious Leaf Storm and Hidden Power Fire for his Metagross specifically, and of course Hussam-Sama and his entire roster should appear to your right by now. He does have that Zoroark, which is a new Pokemon that's introduced recently, right before this season of the league started. So it's a really fast Pokemon for sure, and it's just a fast electric type, and that can hit from both sides and also get access to priority like Fake Out and utility move as like knockoff. That's one of the reasons that I have the Superior, just so that I can somewhat switch into a Zoroark, and Dragon Pulse is there for his Kyurem, just regular Kyurem, in case he wants to bring a Scarf set or a Assault Vest set to be able to switch into my Leaf Storm and just be able to revenge kill me that way. I can live a hit and just fire off a second Dragon Pulse after my initial Leaf Storm. And the knockoff is there for utility. The speed, the EV spreads are max special attack with a timid nature and enough speed so I outspeed the Espeon, and just a little bit in defense and the rest in HP. Up next we do have our Wincon this week, packing the Choice Scarf in the Heligo for the first time with the ability Beast Boost. Nova, of course, coming back again, looking for another sweep potentially. Looking at Hussam-Sama's team, there's not too many things that wants to comfortably switch into Power Gem, and Metagross is one of them. I do have Foul Play for the Metagross. It should do 50% to the Metagross depending on his set. Sludge Wave is there for my main stab, and Grass Knot is there for his Mega Blastoise and the Rhydon. Rhydon is being another thing that can comfortably switch into Nihilego, as it does resist both of my dual stab, and Foul Play is not going to be doing too much to it if it's an Eviolite variant. That's what the Grass Knot is for. And the EV spreads is a modest nature with max special attack and a lot of speed, and a lot of defense in case I have to take a Bullet Punch from the Metagross behind a Reflect, hopefully, and just 4 in HP. This speed tier is so that with a Choice Scarf I guarantee myself to outrun a Zoroark with max speed. And up next we do have Wintel Jr., the Gligar, packing the item Eviolite with the ability Immunity. This thing is just to act as a slow pivot and just be able to switch into his dual electric spam, one of them being the Zoroark, the other one being the Zapdos. Even though the Zapdos may very well pack Hidden Power Ice, but with my EV spread I can take it pretty comfortably. So the movesets are Stealth Rock, U-Turn, Knockoff, and Roost. Knockoff is there for utility, Roost is there for recovery, of course U-Turn is there for momentum. Stealth Rock is so that because again I didn't bring Hazard Control again, even though I'm bringing Volcarona. My idea is that because he doesn't have a Rapid Spinner on his team, I don't think his only way of removing hazard reliably would be through either mostly the Zapdos, I would say, or actually he does have a rapid spin one, which being the Mega Blastoise, but as you can see, I do have 2 months already that can handle the Mega Blastoise relatively well. And Gligar, I can take an Ice Beam from the Mega Blastoise as well with my investment, because I am packing this max HP and a lot of special defense variant with the Careful Nature and enough speed so that I'm not exactly sure what the speed was for. It's just so in case he's speed creeping my Gligar that has no speed investment. But I'm pretty sure this allows me to outspeed. I'm pretty sure this is for Blastoise because Gligar outspeeds Blastoise naturally, but with a little bit of speed investment, I can ensure that he doesn't have enough speed to speed creep my Gligar. That was my idea there, so I can go into my superior or something on offensive switching, as I do take Ice Beam as well with my Assault Vest. So up next we do have Keys the Proton coming back again, packing the Heat Rock, a little bit of heat this week with a sunny day, and Foul Play again for that Metagross, Toxic for everything else. Reflect is so that I can take a Reflect is so that to help me with his physical attackers, especially the Zero Aura, who very well may be packing the Plasma Fist, and also the Metagross if he's packing that Earthquake. Those two are the main ones, and also Staraptor is extremely good offensively against my team as well. Just any type of physical attacks overall. And obviously I have the ability Prankster. Heat Rock is to extend the turn of Sunny Day, simply because on his roster he has 2 switch-ins for Furium Z, one of them being the Rhydon, the other one being the Mega Blastoise, which this allows me to set up, basically allows me to have a chance to fire off a Furium Z within the 8 turns, instead of having to set up a Quiver Dance with my Volcarona first to ensure the damage on the Furium Z. So the EV spread here just max HP with a lot of special defense and defense. I try to even out my special defense and defense with a Bold Nature, simply because the Zero Aura can very well be mixed. And the Metagross will most likely be physically offensive. That's why I do have to Reflect for it. Those 2 Pokemon I think will come for sure, and also the Zapdos, because it can act as a pseudo switch into my superior. If he's fully specially defensive, he actually not only acts as a pseudo switching, he actually switch into it relatively well. And he can pack the Heat Wave for Keys, also Hidden Power Ice for the Gligar. And Heat Wave will hit both the superior and my Clef Key anyway. So up next we do have the Zeref, the Mega Absol, coming back again with a Justify ability. This is mainly for knockoffs coming from the Zero Aura, but most likely I'm just going to be switching into my Absol on free switching anyways. And the movesets are Sucker Punch, Knockoff, T-Bolt, and Toxic. T-Bolt is primarily there for his Mega Blastoise. I think that have a really good chance of coming as well. And the Knockoff for everything else, because his Mega Stone, his Crystal is Rocky Z, and there's not a lot of mons that can utilize it effectively. Although I can't see him bringing it on something this week because it matches up well against my Volcarona. On top of that, whoever's holding it will take reduced damage from my knockoff from Mega Absol. So Sucker Punch is primarily there for the Zero Aura, which is, I believe, is the only thing on his roster that outspeeds Mega Absol, aside from the Ribombee, which I don't think he will bring, simply because he might bring a Scarf Ribombee actually, now I think about it. But he can't really touch the Volcarona too well unless he's running a Hidden Power Rock or the Clef Keys. And Toxic is just there in case I want to predict a switch into something, because his Espeon being the magic bouncer on his team will probably don't want to switch into Mega Absol at all. So Toxic is pretty free click against his team in case he does have some physically defensive wall for the Mega Absol. So the EV spreads are pretty self-explanatory as well. Just max attack and a lot of speed, just so that I ensure I myself outspeed the Espeon, and the rest in special attack. So finally, we do have Genesis of Volcarona, packing Ethereum Z with the ability Flame Body. And the EV spreads are just max special attack and max speed with 4 special defense. This is the first time I'm bringing max Volcarona, because this set with this EV spreads is very difficult for me to set up. But that's why I do have the Heat Rock and Sunny Day on keys to help out the Volcarona, so I don't really need to set up with Quiver Dance to be effective. This is just to ensure myself a speed tie with Adamant Star Raptor, and if he's gonna bring a Scarf set, it's most likely not going to be Jolly, but Star Raptor does have a pretty good matchup offensively against my team as well, but he doesn't really get coverage to hit my Klefki with, so it's one of the lesser likely brings. I mean, it's still high up there, but it's not as likely as the 4 Pokemon that I mentioned previously: Zero Aura, Blastoise, Metagross, and Zapdos. So anyways, we do have Overheat, Quiver Dance, Giga Drain, and Flamethrower. Flamethrower is there to click most of the time after I go for the Overheat Ethereum Z, just to bust out as much damage as possible with the max special attack and potentially Under the Sun. As I mentioned before, he doesn't really have a switch into Ethereum Z. 2 of his switch-ins right on gets destroyed by Giga Drain, and Mecha Blastoise as well is going to be a 2-hit KO most of the time, especially after a Quiver Dance. And Flamethrower obviously is there to click against everything else, as his Dragon doesn't resist fire, being the Kiram. So yeah, that's going to be my team for this week. Hope you guys enjoyed. This is gonna be Admin Crow here, signing off. See you guys in the match. Goodbye, technicians.